Welcome everyone to another episode of Around the Block Talk. Today we have with us Mr. Deep Sagar Verma. He's an assistant professor at National Institute of Fashion Technology and an enthusiast in the Metaverse and Web3 technology and ecosystem. So welcome very much to the show, Mr. Deep, and happy to have you here.
Thank you. So good evening, everyone. My name is Deep Sagar Verma. I am assistant professor in National Institute of Fashion Technology, India, and presently posted in Panchkula, that is near to Chandigarh. So I have an experience of more than a decade of fashion, education, and research. My area of interest are the Metaverse, Web 3.0, cryptocurrencies, decentralized finance, and the associated. So I have been researching about the scope of business, especially in the fashion context, and how it is going to change in the coming times, or what is going to happen, especially in the environment of the metaverse. So I will keep my discussion related to the fashion and its impact on the fashion, its impact in through the metaverse, and how various brands have been introducing or getting introduced into the metaverse, and how it has been changing or defining the fashion in a very, very different way what it used to. So that is the area which I'm going to discuss today. Yeah, over to you. So.
Yes, sure, Mr. Deep, that sounds great. And definitely the entire movement of Web3 and Metaverse, it is bound to disrupt a number of industries. And fashion is definitely a big industry where it's going to cause a number of changes. So we'll be happy to hear your thoughts on how it's going to develop and pan out.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. So before I go into the topic, and I'm pretty sure that all the audience, they must be aware of the meaning of the metaverse and Web 3.0 and how it is actually impacting the whole world. But anyways, again, I'll be starting from a little bit of history and how the technological changes have been happening for last few decades, and how it has come to this point, and what is Web 3.0 and what is the metaverse actually. Okay, so everybody must be remembering the phase, the time period when there used to be the introduction to the internet, and how as a consumer or as an individual we used to open a web page. Okay, so that was an example of web 1.0, basically the introduction to the internet. And it was only like there was a provider and there was a consumer, so there was no interactivity. It was just somebody is providing something and somebody is taking something. However, after the development and growth over the years, the internet has been redefined with more interactivity. And we are in the phase of Web 2.0, what is basically the present system of internet, where we are interacting. But again, the interaction is basically 2D. And mostly it is happening like in the two-dimensional. And obviously, the interactivity has definitely increased. But again, there is a lack of connectivity. There is a lack of interactivity. And Web 3.0 is basically the future iteration of the internet, and how and where the experience of everything is going to be immersive. Like any one company is basically the seller and one is the consumer. So they happen to be meeting at one place, one potential place, where the interactivity will be very, very high, the immersiveness will be very high, and it will be all real time. That is the most important part of Web 3.0. And especially when we talk about the changes happening pre-COVID and post-COVID. So post-COVID era is basically a time phase where we all have witnessed that there have been changes happening, and every company is adopting the change, and accordingly they are providing the services and the products. And so this is a bit about Web 3.0. So Web 3.0 is basically the futuristic internet iteration, where the internet will be very, very high, and that will be required. Like 5G is coming very soon, and then when we will venture into 6G internet, then probably the metaverse or Web 3.0 will be at the peak. That is what the researchers or the experts say. Right. Then coming to the next term, the metaverse. So the metaverse is not a new term. Yes, it got popularity. It has become more evident when last year in November Facebook had changed its name to Meta. So it gained more popularity. But this is a term which was basically coined some few decades back, and gaming industry has been already using it in abundance, and they are creating an atmosphere where the users can get the experience. But till date, it was basically the 2D, two-dimensional experience, where probably you are playing with your mobile phones or probably with laptops or computers. And earlier, like in the early days, it used to be through one device where it used to get connected to the television or something like that. So that used to be kind of gaming industry which we have witnessed over the years. And presently, yes, there have been so many technologies, supporting technology, which are giving experience to the customers for especially playing the games. And probably that would be something which is again changing and expected to change in the metaverse. So the metaverse is basically an atmosphere, the virtual atmosphere, where every types of industry or any company can be present, and at the same time, even the customers can be there. So imagine a situation like right now we are sitting at two different places of this country, and we are talking a kind of virtual interaction it is. What if we are meeting into the metaverse and you and me are sitting together, and probably many people are there, and then ultimately the experience is going to be immersive. It would seem that everyone is sitting in one room and we can interact and we can talk, conversation and something like that. And that is what the metaverse is all about. It is giving the feeling of reality in the virtual world. And the virtual world is going to be so impactful that it will become part of our lives. So, and obviously at present, the metaverse is basically in the developmental phase, and many companies, including Facebook, which is known as Meta now, Sony, Samsung, and there are like gaming companies like the Sandbox, Decentraland, Axie Infinity. These all companies are developing the metaverse. And one more thing that the one more important aspect of the metaverse is basically the interoperability. Like every single metaverse could be connected, and it will create a whole ecosystem. And in the ecosystem, as a consumer, as an individual, as a company, we can use the service. We can have the buying and selling process will take place. The participation in the event, the participation in any of the activity will happen in the metaverse. It is actually happening. There are multiple companies which are already there. Like for example, Spatial or Ready Player Me. These types of companies are already providing the interactivity and immersiveness to the consumers.
Right. Mr. Deep, we would like to really understand how it's going to specifically now affect the fashion industry, this metaverse.
Yes. So when we talk fashion, so fashion is something defined. If we go the typical definition of fashion is all about the following the trends. That whatever is happening, whatever has happened, that is the study done. Then what is happening today and what is expected to happen. That is the most important thing. So the futuristic study of trends color, design, because when you talk about fashion, it talks about lots and lots of other different perspectives. Okay, so fashion is one of the most important businesses. Okay, and it has a huge volume of the business. And when we talk fashion, we can talk in the context of design, we can talk in the context of technology or management. And it is basically a great field which captures the lives of each and every individual. And there are like international brands, luxury brands, or in fact, our local brands, national brands. There are so many brands which are offering the products and services in the field of fashion. Right. So how fashion is going to change? So as of now, or till date, we had two different models. One was like brick and mortar stores. Like as a customer, we can visit to a store and we can buy a product, we can try a fashion product, and then we can make a purchase decision. Then with the introduction of the e-commerce, obviously it gave a little bit of ease to the customer that you can just go and buy the product by using the e-commerce sites, and many of the companies that have become so successful. But there is one problematic area in the field of fashion, that is basically the size and fit. That is one of the major areas of the problems in fashion industry, apart from many other problems also. But this is something which is very unique, and it is not something related to our country or any particular place. It is basically universal. Okay, so size and fit is something. Then after the access of the product, the usability of the product, and the sustainability. These are some of the key terms which can be associated with fashion. Okay, now coming to the basically how fashion is going to be changed in the metaverse, or how the metaverse is going to help fashion, that I'm going to explain. So there is going to be the scenarios where brands, like maybe the luxury brands or the international or multinational brands and the national brands, they are creating the virtual spaces in the metaverse. And there could be the virtual stores where, as a consumer, we can enter into that space and we can try the product, we can get the feel of the product, and we can have the multiple products available, like more than the store, what the store is happening, store is offering. Okay, and then we can use those products and basically those digital, digital garments or something, which is basically known as NFTs, non-fungible tokens. So as a customer, I can use that product in the metaverse, and then I can make a decision of buying or not buying or whatever. Or there could be multiple options of changing the clothes or the fashion. Okay, that is one area. Then after, again, fashion is always exhibited through fashion shows. Okay, so we must be aware that there are very famous international fashion shows like Milan Fashion Week, Paris Fashion Week, London Fashion Week, New York Fashion Week, Tokyo Fashion Week, and because these are known as the fashion capitals of it. Okay, so but not every time anybody can enter or anybody can go inside to witness the fashion show. But yes, in the metaverse, it is highly possible that any fashion enthusiast can go and witness the real-time fashion show, and then see that what is happening in the world of fashion in real time. That is also one of the benefits. Then it is also going to define fashion in terms of sustainability, because fashion is such industry which basically, you can say, creates lots of wastages. Okay, so if and obviously because there is a demand supply mismatch, companies tend to produce more and more, because when they offer more to the customers, then obviously the customers will buy the product. For example, if I take the fast fashion brands like Zara and H&M, they are very much known for their fast fashion cycle or supply chain, and they introduce the products in very short span of time. And obviously for that, the volume of the business or the rate of production becomes very high. And obviously, whenever there is more production, there is more wastage, and ultimately that it is basically related to the sustainability of the climate change. So fashion is one area which is also impacting the climate change. What if the gap between supply and demand decreases, right? Like me as a customer, I would only order to the marketeer that I want this particular product. So you not to manufacture so many products, because I am the creator of my own garments, because maybe probably my avatar can wear the different products or different NFTs, and then ultimately decide that which one is looking good on me. And obviously, when these avatars and this type of digital assets are also going to be optimized in the coming future, right? So in this sense, what is going to happen, that there would be the responsible production of the products as well as the responsible usage, because we are only going to use the product what we have offered. That marketer need not to produce too much, and at the same time the consumers need not to purchase so many things, because there would not be problem or lesser problem in terms of size, color, design, texture, or whatever the challenges of the fashion business are, right? So that is how it is going to. And again, the feeling of immersiveness, the feeling of real time immersiveness, and the actual the feeling of the actual product will be into the metaverse. And obviously that is something beyond imagination, and probably the customers will be highly satisfied with such type of setup. Yeah, so that is how fashion as a product or fashion as a business will grow in coming times. Yeah.
Mr. Deep, one question that I would like to ask you is, we've also seen virtual products coming up now, virtual jewelry or virtual fashion, or just clothes for your avatar in the metaverse. So what kind of industry would you see developing over there?
See, fashion is something which talks about garments. Obviously, garments, textiles, these are some of the major areas. But now fashion has redefined, and it has gone beyond this. So even the lifestyle product, even like mobile phones, or even having or cars or jewelries or accessories like belts, shoes, glasses, and everything, those all products have become the part of fashion. And in the metaverse, the development is not going to be in particular one direction. It is not only one industry growing. It is like the culmination of all the industries. Means you can say that it is just the replica of the real world in the virtual world, where it will be more optimized, and it will be more responsibly produced, and a customer will only buy the product, or the seller will only offer the product which is actually going to be in demand. So and it will be like, when we buy a cloth, we definitely go for the related products, like probably the shoes or belts or glasses or tiara or whatever. There could be multiple industries which will collaborate together and sell the products, right? And just for the information, in last few months there has been developments in the metaverse, or specifically the brands entering into the metaverse. And I would like to give few examples. Like Nike is one of the most famous sportswear brand which entered into the metaverse few months back, and it has collaborated with a gaming industry, namely Roblox. And then Nike NFTs, basically the digital asset of Nike, has sold over $185 million till date. That is as per the recent news. Few days back, Puma, which is again a sportswear brand, they have also entered into the metaverse, and they are also going to create their sneakers, and it is going to be offered to the customers or potential clients. And luxury brands, obviously, they are the pioneers into the metaverse, like the brands like Gucci or Prada or Balenciaga or Louis Vuitton. These all sorry, these all luxury brands have already entered into the metaverse, and they are into the developmental phase. So we can say that since these brands are their luxury brands or international brands, and they are developing their metaverse in collaboration with the different platforms, and they are going to provide the experiential experience to the customers, and that will benefit in the context of fashion. That will also benefit them in the context of business and the volume of the business basically, and obviously it will increase the profitability of those businesses. So I'm pretty sure that in coming 3 to 5 years, the metaverse will be very common area where all the brands, including fashion or healthcare or probably gaming is already there, and then and maybe some other sectors. So these all will be there, and they will be collaborating with each other so that the experience of providing the services and products to the customers increases, because ultimately you want your brand to be established and create the loyal customers and potential customers, especially in this cutthroat competition. And that is what is expected to be done in the coming times. Yeah, over to you, Pradeep.
Sure, Mr. Deep. And with that, thank you very much for appearing on the show today. And it was a very interesting and informative talk. And thank you for appearing.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Pradeep.